Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Mikey's Productions here, Last War survival game. So, after Season 2, we enter into the Season 2 celebration, which brings about the Age of Oil. The Age of Oil comes with a new tech tree called the Age of Oil. And oil is going to be one of the new permanent resources. Well, at least we assume permanent, because you're going to need it in order to upgrade the technology under the Age of Oil tree to be able to unlock HQ 35, and also highly likely it will be needed for other buildings as well. So in order to initially unlock the Age of Oil technology, you need to have Tech Center level 30, which means you also have to be at level 30 HQ, and it makes sense because this entire thing is meant to expand the headquarters level cap to 35. And you also need to have Special Forces at 80% or better. I don't think there's any other base requirements, because my tech may already be past that base requirement and it won't show me. Much like here, we can see Garage 3 indicates Garage 2 needs to reach 25% and I need a level 30 tech center. So I've been told by the team that in order to unlock the Age of Oil, you need to have Special Forces at 80% or better. So, all of you out there are probably wondering, what is this new tech all about? Let's walk through the tree, and then we're going to talk about what I believe to be the minimum required tech for each of these tiers in order to unlock headquarters level 35. So first up, in tier 1, we are going to unlock the oil well. So this is going to allow us to create one new building, that is one new oil well, to start producing oil. And again, we're going to need oil in order to progress through this tech tree. Now, I haven't done anything yet because I'm going to wait for Age of Science, where I can get versus points for doing this particular tech. Of course, I'll probably get stuck since it's not very long, and most of them are I think all less than 10 days. This will vary depending on the level of different buffs that you have and if you apply the Congress buff. But most of them, I believe, or all of them are less than 10 days. And you could probably get through this pretty quickly. Although I will say, there are 145 individual tech researches in this tree. And I believe you're going to need 46 of them in order to meet the minimum requirements. So, first thing you're going to do is unlock the oil well so you can start producing oil. This only has one level in it. You can see the requirements here. Everything here is going to need Tech Center 30, nothing higher as far as I know. Then the next tier, the second tier, is going to start to give us food, iron, and coin output increases. This is very similar to the other technology that we've seen, and hopefully you've already researched as well under economy. This will give us 2.5 up to 25% increase in food output. And the only thing we need to do is the very first unlock oil well to obtain it. The same for boost iron output, or iron output 5. Same deal. And we can go up to 25%. Boost coin output. That is for coin output 5. We need oil well 1. And just like the previous two, we can go up to 25% of our coin output. The third tier is now going to be oil output 1. There are going to be 3 of these. There's an oil output 1, 2, and 3. And this has 10 levels to it. This will boost your oil well output. Each level is going to boost it by 1% up to 10%. And you need, in order to obtain and start this research, you're going to need level 1 of food output 5, iron output 5, and coin output 5. Now, what I don't know is if when you go to level 2 for boost oil well output, is it going to require level 2 for each of these? It's not clear yet. It very well might. If that does, then that means that we're going to have to probably max out each of the food, iron, and coin outputs. So you will go through and also need, in addition to food, iron, and coin, you will need oil, 54,599. Your percent may vary here. I have the engineer profession, which gives me 5% reduction in resource costs. Maybe that does or doesn't apply here, not sure. So your numbers may slightly vary on the resource costs, but you will need oil in order to research each of these levels here for oil output 1. Moving to the fourth tier, we have Fast Builder 5, which is going to increase our building construction speed. That will go from 2.5% up to 25%. And in order to even do level 1 here, we need level 10 of oil output 1. So you have to fully max out oil output 1 in order to move to this tier. You'll need only iron, food, and gold to progress in this technology. There is also Research Enhancement 5, which will increase your research speed. This will also take us 2.5% up to 25%. You will likewise need oil output 1, level 10. And it will take iron, food, and coin in order to progress through these research levels. In our next tier, this one's going to unlock the third tech center. So this is great because if you're free to play, you may not have bought the second tech center. So you can actually get a second tech center without paying for it. And if you did buy the second tech center, which I do strongly encourage, it's not a lot of money and it's permanent. So it's one of the good buys. If you did buy it, this will give you now a third tech center to start increasing the level on. In order to get this, you will need oil in addition to gold, iron, and food. You also need level 1 of Fast Builder 5 and level 1 of Research Enhancement 5. So this only requires level 1 of the prior tier. But that tier requires level 10 of the tier above it. Moving on, after you get the third tech center, you will now move to Focused Training 5. That will increase your training speed. That will go from 1 to 10%. You are going to be required to obtain, of course, the third tech center because it's the previous tier in this tree. It will take iron, food, and coin, and there are 10 levels here. Likewise, there is Rapid Field Dressing 5, 10 levels. It will increase your unit healing rate from 1 to 10% as you go through those levels. You need the third tech center research, and it will take iron, food, and coin to progress through these. The next tier is Solitary, and it's going to be Oil Output 2. And in order to progress Oil Output 2, you need Focus Training 5 and Rapid Field Dressing 5, level 1 of each. Now, just like the prior oil output, it's not clear that if we go to level 2 of oil output and progress to level 10, is it going to require level 2, 3, 4, 5 to 10 of the Focus Training and the Rapid Field Dressing? It's not clear right now. So this could mean that the minimum requires a little more. It will take oil in addition to iron, food, and coin. As you progress to these 10 levels, it will increase your oil well output from 1 to 10 additional percent. Next up is Infirmary Expansion 5. This is going to increase your hospital's capacity. There are 10 levels, and it will take you from 1% increase to 10% increase as you go through them. It requires level 10 of oil output 2. That's just like what we saw in oil output 1. So we know we're going to be required to max out oil output 2. It will not take any oil to progress this tech, but it will take iron, food, and coin. You also now have a new tech that we haven't seen before, which is emergency capacity. This is going to increase your emergency center's capacity, which is great because that's what allows you to reclaim the fainted units or troops. This has 10 levels. It will increase that capacity from 1 to 10% as you progress through. It requires just like the previous tech, will require level 10 of oil output 2. It will require food, iron, and coin as well. So we know that we need to max oil output 2 in order to start the infirmary expansion and emergency capacity research. Next, we're able to gain one more oil well. This is a solitary tech research. It will take oil in addition to your iron, food, and coin. It requires infirmary expansion 5 and emergency capacity 1, both at level 1, in order to complete this tech. We're getting close to the bottom of the tree, where we now have training cost 1. This will reduce the resource cost for training your units from minus 0.5% to minus 5%. It requires that you complete the level 1, the only level, of more oil wells, and it will take iron, food, and coin. Parallel to that, you have healing cost 2. We've seen a healing cost reduction before. This one's going to reduce the resource cost for healing wounded units. It will have 10 levels, and it will reduce the cost from minus 0.5% to minus 5%, just like we saw for the training cost reduction. It requires more oil wells level 1, and it will also require iron, food, and coin. So we know here we've got 10 levels. It requires just the tech prior. In the last leg of the tree, we have 3 tiers, solitary. The first of the 3 is the parts workshop. This is going to unlock the drone parts workshop. This is going to be awesome because we all know getting drone parts is not easy. In order to unlock this, you will need training cost 1 level 1 and healing cost 2 level 1 to be done. There's only one level here. It will only have plus 1 parts workshop, so you can't get more than one of them. It will take oil in order to research this, as well as coin, iron, and food. Next to last is oil output 3. So just like oil output 2 and 1, we're going to guess we probably need to take this all the way up to level 10. It will require oil. It will require iron and food and gold. It will also require that you do the parts workshop tech, as we see in the tree. This will have 10 levels, and it will increase your oil output by another 1 to 10%. So by the time you get done with this, you will have increased your oil output by effectively 30%. And the very last tech to research here is headquarters level cap raised to 35 in HQ expansion. There's only one to research, but we see it takes oil output 3 level 10, so we've got to max out oil output 3. So at this point, you know you need to max oil output 1, 2, and 3. It will take oil in addition to iron, food, and coin in order to complete this research. I did misspeak earlier. This one is more than 10 days. All the others, at least at level 1, that we can see are less than 10 days, but I am going to definitely bet that by the time you take a level 1 of oil output 3, which is 7 days, up to level 10, it's probably pretty long. So there you have it. That's the tech tree overview in order to get to headquarters level 35 to be unlocked. So with all that said, I have started to put together a database or spreadsheet, if you will, of all of this technology. Let's take a look. So we see here the spreadsheet that I've put together. I've collected metadata around an ID number, so that's how we know that there are 145 individual texts to research here. We also identify which are required for HQ35, at least presently known. The name, the tier, the level, the benefit attribute, the power, and I've started to capture the resource requirements in iron, food, gold, coin, and then the tech requirements. I'm capturing up to 4 so far. I don't think any have that requirement, more than 3. And then building requirements. The good news is the only building requirement you have here is that you need to obtain Tech Center level 30, which you need anyways in order to get to this point. So we have 145, and if I filter down on only those that I've so far identified as requiring HQ 30 or required for HQ 35, this will give us 46. And we can see here that we need to unlock the oil well. We need to do level 1 of the food, iron, and coin output. We need to do all 10 levels of oil output 1, fast builder, research, enhancement 1, tech center 3, the focus training 5, and field dressing 5 at level 1. Oil output 2 needs to max out all 10. Infirmary expansion 5 and emergency capacity 1. We only need to do level 1 so far, as we know. More oil wells level 1. Training cost 1. Healing cost 2. Only level 1 so far in order to get the parts workshop, which will then require us to max out oil output 3 to level 10 before we can finally do the last tech of HQ expansion. So this is the currently known minimum required tech in order to uncap your headquarters all the way up to level 35. So with that said, folks, I hope you found this video informative and helps you now prepare for what's ahead and plan for how to unlock level 35 of the headquarters. Don't rush. There's a lot of other tech here to do. Don't forget your hero tech. I'm working on that. I took a little sidebar to continue on special forces since I'm almost done with all the tech there that gives you power boosts for your squads. Siege to siege is good. And defense fortifications is also good. That both those can help you increase casualty rates and decrease casualty rates of your own. I haven't really started any of the faction masteries just because I just unlocked that recently, and honestly, you should probably finish hero first. So, focus on what's in front of you. There's a lot to do here. This is a game of patience. As we go forward, I will continue to build out this database. If I find that there's additional required tech, I'll do an updated video. And should you want access to the database when it's built out, you might be able to arrange something, maybe a little compensation or something like that, because it does take time to do this, right, team? So I appreciate it. So smash the like button, subscribe, drop me a comment, and have a wonderful rest of your day.